The next generation of young revivalists. God is raising up a younger generation of revivalists for the end time great awakening. Great revivals and spiritual awakenings have occurred throughout history in many nations. Great revivalists blazed the trails of great awakenings in the past and passed the torch to a younger generation of revivalists. This younger generation of revivalists are the young fires that God is raising up to set the world on fire with the message of Christ, to accomplish His purpose in the end time generation. The young fires look back and learn from the flaming evangelists of old, then look at our current generation and cry, "Wilt thou not revive us again?" I wrote this book in 1999 under the title, The End Time Revival and Great Awakening. At the time, I had a tremendous passion for God to move in our generation in a mighty way. I prayed that God would use me and raise up others to usher in a mighty end-time revival and spiritual awakening. I've changed the book title to Young Fire, End-Time Revivalists for the Great Awakening. Because not only was I much younger when I wrote it, but it is my deep desire that young people will read it and catch the spirit of revivalism and be used by God in their generation. As this book has gone into another printing, I just reflect on what the Lord has done in our generation. I see how God has raised up many powerful men and women who were unknown youths at the time that I had written this book. God has indeed raised up some great revivalists. I now look forward to what God may do in the next 20 years and beyond. I wonder what kind of nation-shaking revival God may grant us. Regardless of the powerful revivals that God has blessed this nation with, they all seem to fall short. From the great awakenings in the USA, South Africa, Wales, Hebrides, and others from the early 1700s through the early 1900s. Yes, we cannot underestimate what God has done recently. Countless lives have been changed and impacted by this move of God. For this move of God will only be appreciated to its full in time to come. Yet, our world seems in a horrible spiritual state. Perhaps these most recent revivals were but tremors before the big one hits. I believe this may very well be the case. Authors are sometimes hesitant to republish their older works without completely re-editing it or perhaps rewriting it altogether. The reason for this is because authors' views on certain things change, and they may have come upon a greater clarity on certain topics. Their audience is no longer the same as the one present when they initially wrote their book. And their writing skills have also improved or changed. However, I am putting this book back into print with much of the same content as it was in 1999. With some changes here and there, I also deleted a couple of chapters and added a little. The reader may notice that the style of the author reflects that of an unpolished but on fire young man, eagerly expecting a mighty move of God. After serving God for many years and after over 25 years of full-time ministry, I am as on fire now as I have ever been. The spirit of revival is more caught than it is taught. It is my prayer that this work would still a passion for spiritual great awakening and for revival in us. And in our younger generation, a powerful revival and a great awakening is on its way, and God is also using young revivalists to usher it in. They are the young fires. whose passion for God burns and blazes with flames of love for God and souls. The pages of revival history are filled with countless stories of such moves of God. The first and second Great Awakenings, the Welsh and Hebrides revivals, and more. This book, Young Fire, explores the supernatural interventions of God, argues that God can do it again, and also encourages young men and women to be the young fires that will labor for it to be ushered in. Get ready for a move of God that this world has never seen.